So for this video, we're going to solve word problems by writing and solving equations using addition or subtraction. Now remember, when you do these types of word problems, you have to identify what your variable is and what your variable represents. All right? So let's do number one. You earn $9 per hour babysitting. This is, so it says this is $2 more than what you earned last year. Oops, what you earned last year. So what did you earn per hour last year? So what are we looking for? We're looking for the earnings last year, your hourly rate last year. So let's represent y for earnings per hour last year. Okay, so we need to identify what our variable is. So y represents the earnings per hour last year. So now let's try to understand the statement. So you earn $9 per hour, right? So this $9 per hour, this word, this represents $9 per hour. So this is would represent your equal sign. 2 more than, so this is 2 more than last year, right? So 2 more than what you earned last year. When you say more than, it means we're gonna add. Remember the word then? You're adding 2 from last year. So last year is represented by y. So y is added. So 2 is added from y, which is the result is $9. So our equation is $9 is equal to your earnings from last year, add $2. Now these two are equal. Now let's solve this. So we need to isolate y by using inverse operation of plus 2. So you are gonna subtract 2 on one side and subtract 2 on the other side. So these two numbers are opposite, so that's a 0. So y is equal to $7. So that means your earnings from last year was $7 per hour. Easy, right? Now let's try to do number 2. Number 2, your mother asked you to turn down the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this is, here we go again, this is, let me use green. So this is 75 degrees Fahrenheit less than it was. So the question is, what was the original temperature? Okay, you already know what we're looking for. What we're looking for would be the original temperature. So let's use the variable t to represent the original temperature. All right, now let's understand the problem. It says you turn down the oven and the result was 325 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So the word this pertains to 325. So 325 is, all right, is 75 degrees Fahrenheit less than it was. Now, mind you, when you say less than, you're subtracting what? You're subtracting 75 degrees from what it was. And that represents our original temperature, which is letter T. So 75 degrees Fahrenheit is subtracted from what it was, which was our original temperature, so T. And the result is it turned down to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we need to solve for the original temperature. What do we do? Absolutely, we're going to add 75 degrees by using inverse operation, add 75 degrees. So the result is a 0. What's left is the T equal to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Oops, that's 400. There you go. Woo. So our answer is the original temperature was 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, we're doing two things. We are writing the equation down. This is the writing part. And we are also solving the equation. So you're doing two things, writing the equation and solving the equation. Now let's do the third problem. The difference between, the word difference, between the heights of your chair and your desk is negative 10 and 1/4 inches. Now the height of your desk is 29 and 3/4 inches. And the question is, what is the height of your chair? So what are we looking for? We're looking for the height of your chair. So let's use H, represent the height of the chair. Okay, so H represents the height of the chair. So when you say difference, what does that mean? Absolutely. Difference means to subtract. So let's understand the problem. So the difference between the heights of the chair, that means when we subtract the height of the chair minus the height of your desk, it's equal to negative 10 and 1/4 inches. Again, this is the height of the chair minus the height of the desk, would equal to negative 10 and 1/4 inches. Now, do we know the height of the chair? Do we know? Okay, so we do not know. It's represented by letter H. So the height of the chair is H minus the height of the desk is 29 and 3/4 inches is equal to the difference is negative 10 and 1/4 inches. Now, we have written our equation. This is our equation. Now, let's solve our equation. So when solving, remember our goal is to isolate H. So we need to undo minus 29 and 3/4 by adding 29 and 3/4. So whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side, adding 29 and 3/4. Now, there are many ways to approach this problem. Let's use the easiest way. So these two will be 0 because they're opposites. What's left is H is equal to. Now, are the signs the same here? They're not. So that means we're going to do what? We're going to, let me have a bubble right here. We're going to subtract. So subtract the bigger magnitude. So 29 and 3/4 minus 10 and 1/4. Right? Because the signs are different, so we subtract the magnitudes of these two numbers. So when we subtract, we already know that they have the same denominator. So we're not changing anything. Now, a lot of you will probably change this into a improper fraction, which is fine, but that's the long way. The fastest way would be think is, can you take away 1/4 from 3/4, and can you take away 10 wholes from 29 wholes? Yes, you can. So if we can, then we can just subtract right away like a mixed number. So what's 3/4 minus 1/4? What's 3 minus 1? That's going to be 2 over, and you copy denominator, 4. Now what's 29 minus 10? And that's going to be 19. Now let's simplify. We know we can simplify 2/4. We can divide it by 2 because that is the common factor of 2 and 4. And that should give us 19 and 1/2. So H is equal to 19 and 1/2 feet. Now remember, the 29 and 3/4 is a bigger magnitude, so the answer is a positive. So our answer is 19 and 1/2 feet. So the height of the chair is, so the height of the chair is 19.5 feet. All right, let's try the last problem. Now, number 4, perimeter. The perimeter of a triangle is 25 feet. Okay, look at the word is. So we all know what when you say perimeter is the sum of all the sides. Means side 1 or side A plus side B plus side C is equal to your perimeter. Oops. All right, here you go. Perimeter. Okay? Now, what do we know? We know that a triangle has 3 sides. And 2 of the 3 sides, we have the lengths of it. So side A is 5.2 feet, plus side B is 8 feet, plus side C we don't know, so let's put letter C. So C represents the third side length of the triangle is equal to, what's our perimeter? 25 feet, so 25. So I need you, oops, why do I always do that? So highlighter, there you go. So I need you to simplify 5.2 plus 8, and that should give you 13.2 plus C is equal to 25. So we simplify this by adding it up, and that equals to 13.2. Now, let's solve for C by doing its inverse operation of 13.2. So that's going to be minus 13.2. Wherever you do on one side, you do on the other side, 13.2. So you get what? Absolutely. So this is a 0. 6, which is the third side length of the triangle, was 25 minus 13.2. And that should give us 11.8 feet. So the third side would be 11. Oops. Okay, let me erase that part for a second. Oops. So the third side would be 11.8 feet. So hopefully that helps.